Actually, while I'm sitting here, I figured I'd take the time to, I don't know, I'd tell you a good story. Uh, I know for my birthday on Facebook, I asked everybody to tell me, I said, you can leave happy birthday comments, but if you want, as a birthday present, leave me a story that you remember about me, or like the first time me and the person met, or something like that. And Mom, I remember she popped on there and she says, well, I've got tons of stories. Which one you want? About the time you set the building on fire, or the hay bale on fire, or how about the time you stole your dad's truck? So I figured I'd tell that story about stealing the truck. I remember it was me and my buddy Matt Pinnell. Is when I think he lived over on Tower Rock Road, or not Tower Rock, but Bassett Blacktop, I think. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but it was during the summer, and he'd come over, every now and then he'd ride his four-wheeler over here. Because, I remember I didn't even have my white slip, so I was probably about 15 at the oldest. Maybe I hadn't just got it yet or something, but I know I wasn't old enough to be driving. And Pinnell, he's a year younger than me, so, give or take, he's 13, 14, something like that. And he comes over, and me and him, he said something. I can't remember what he said, but I said, let's take my dad's work truck out. And for those of you who don't know, Dad had a 1979 Ford Ranger, and that thing was a beast. I mean, it had rust holes in it and all that. I mean, it was an old truck. Dad, he didn't have it since '79, but he bought it from somebody, and that thing never gave out. If it did, Dad fixed it. Like it was brand new, and that thing, it was just a damn beast. So we went up to the barn. I guess I was trying to be cool or something like that. So I told him, I said, yeah, let's take it gravel roading or something like that. In all honesty, I think we were just gonna go down the road and come back or something like that, but the road didn't end, so we kept going. So we're driving around, and Dad, he just had like the regular AM FM stereo in it, and of course I was driving, because I was the oldest. So we're going down the road, and I remember a Green Day song came on. I can't remember which one it was, but probably around that time it was like their first CD that everybody recognized them for and all that. And I remember Pinnell's like, oh, I like that song, but Dad's radio kept cutting out. It kept seriously, the speakers would cut out. And I think he just had a speaker in the driver's side door. So I said, well, hold on. So I'd open the door and I'd slam it, and the speaker would pop back on, and then it'd go out again. So I'd open the door, slam it, and this is going down the road. I'd slam it, and it'd come back on, and same thing over and over again. And finally, we're about halfway through the song, and Pinnell, we're talking about in the song, and I was getting frustrated because this damn stereo wouldn't stay on. So I went wham and slammed it, and the mirror on the driver's side fell off, and not like the whole thing, but like the actual piece of mirror. Dad had cut out a piece of mirror to put glue on there because I guess it had fallen off before, and he just needed something for a driver's side mirror. And I remember I slammed on the brakes, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know what to do, and I looked down, that mirror's all busted in the gravel, so I just kicked it around a little bit, and me and Pinnell, of course, that didn't faze us. We didn't think to take it home. And we drove around, and we took rode up by Catholic Church Road and all that place. And then we went, I think the road out by the hospital, out by Rains bus line. We went into Rosa Claire and just drove through. I don't know how we didn't get stopped. I don't know what the situation, I don't know how we got away with it, but I remember we came out by the gas station there at the four-way at Midway, and I remember Dickie Pease was running it at the time, and I told Pinnell, I said, oh shit, I said, Dickie and my dad are really good friends, and Dad gets gas there all the time, and I said, man, if he sees Dad's work truck, he's gonna wave and then wonder why Dad didn't wave, So I remember there was one of Dad's hats in the truck, and that was when I had hair, so I threw on that hat real quick, just in case we went by and Dickie saw me, and I'd just give the old Jim wave, like that, But luckily, I don't guess Dickie saw me, so we just went straight across and went out towards Iron Furnace and all that. We eventually, made it back home because we knew Mom and Dad would be getting home. So Pinnell, he'd taken off, went back home. And later that night, Dad comes upstairs and he says, He says, "Hey, did you drive my truck today?" I said, "No." And he's like, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "The driver's side mirror's busted." And I said, "Oh." I said, "I went out to get the mail today," which the mailbox is just right out here, and the truck was parked out in the driveway. I said, "I went out to get the mail today, and that mirror was laying on the ground." And Dad didn't act too surprised, because he knew that had fallen off before, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "What'd you do with the glass?" I said, "Well, I picked it up, because it's driveway." I said, "I don't want anybody running over getting a flat tire or something." So, I think Dad knew I was lying, but it was a logical reason why the mirror was off, because it'd fallen off before. Well, he comes back up. If I remember right, he comes back upstairs again. I guess he came out here and looked for the glass, and he said, he goes, "What'd you do with that mirror?" I said, "Oh, I threw it in the trash." Or no, I said I threw it off in the weeds out here where he bush hogs and stuff. And he's like, "Why did you throw it in the trash?" So I don't know. I came up with some stupid excuse. And I remember I was playing video games or something, and I was acting all mad because he was interrupting me playing video games, trying to get him to leave, And he says, he goes, "Well, there's no glass. There's nothing out there." I said, "Well, I picked it all up." He goes, "What about the tiny pieces you couldn't get?" And I said, "Well, I kicked around the gravel because I didn't want anybody getting a flat tire." And I remember Dad goes, "Oh, horse shit." I said, "No." I said, why horse shit, Dad? I don't, he knew I was lying. He just couldn't prove it. So, he came back upstairs again and was talking to me. Finally, I think he realized I wasn't going to admit to it. So, he left it alone for the rest of the night. And I thought, man, I got away with it, So that next day, Pennell comes back over. And I tell him, I said, "Let's go take Dad's truck out again." He's like, "All right." So we go up there, and Dad had it parked up at the barn. And the more I looked, Dad had I didn't think about easy stuff like, oh, Dad had checked the odometer and stuff like that. But I looked, and if I remember right, I think Dad had marked the tires, like where the lettering was. I noticed there was a big rock, bigger than usual, than in the driveway, right there. Somebody's coming down the road, and it's Dad. So I'm gonna hurry and finish that story. And there was this big rock by the sea because they were chaparral tires. And then I looked on the other one, and on the other one, I'm like, So Dad tricked me. So we didn't take it out that day, but I eventually admitted that I took the truck. So anyway, Dad is just pulling up into the barn over there, and he's waving at me because I hid my vehicle. He didn't even know how I got here, I guess, because I didn't want Mom seeing it. So anyway, peace.